Now, for the latest on the story, let's cross live to our reporter, Veronica Makhoali. Veronica, very good evening to you. The day has come to an end. Many of those traveling back home are still making their way into South Africa. What are the congestions like at this moment, and what's the latest?
Well, as you can see, Katlego, the sun is setting here at Beitbridge, but the numbers are definitely continuing. We're seeing that swelling number, of course, and despite that, there is no chaos, but definitely a sense of frustration, I can imagine, among the travelers here who have had to, of course, bear the brunt of that scorching heat as they attempt to cross into South Africa. But, Katlego, really, this has been the order of the day when it comes to the numbers that we are seeing here. These long queues of people that, of course, have been moving in and out of South Africa. In fact, currently this line that we are looking at is that of customs, where people have had to come and process some of their goods. This has been part of the delays, one would say, in terms of these processes. Many here carrying their baggage. Earlier, there was also, of course, those scenes of people standing between the border that links Zimbabwe and South Africa, stretching kilometres. But I'm joined now by the Commissioner of the BMA, just to get a sense of the figures. We're still seeing some of those lines, definitely a different look altogether from what we saw earlier in the morning when there was that congestion, but we're still seeing some people, of course, being processed. Just talk to us a little bit about the figures in terms of what we are seeing today so far in terms of those who have been processed.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Veronica. Maybe let me also indicate this point. You will realize that the line that was here in the morning, which was on the other side, that was the line for people that were entering the country. And now, as you can see, that other side, it is cleared completely. There's no one. We had been able to process all the people that came through. So out of the morning up to this point, around 20 or so thousand, we have been able to process. 17,000 of those were entering South Africa, and then 3,000 were exiting. Now, what you can see now is that some of those people that were entering in the morning are some of the people now on the queue returning back home to Zimbabwe. And in this instance, they were fairly coming to the mall to buy some groceries, and now they're returning back home. That is why you will see now that the queue is on the South African side as they are returning back home. We are actually processing them. You will realize that before 8 or so, even this line is also going to be cleared out very soon.
Yeah. And we're talking, of course, about towards the end of the evening. A lot has happened throughout the day, especially in regards to those that have been apprehended, trying to, of course, cross the border illegally with goods, be it smuggling some of those items, but also just smuggling individuals into the South African border. What are the numbers looking like in terms of those that have been intercepted? And let's talk a little bit more about arrests as well that need to be done.
Yeah, firstly, we can confirm that around 120, and that is the figure towards the afternoon, as it were. Now, as we speak, they are continuing to arrest the people, and we are consolidating the numbers. So by tomorrow, we'll give a very consolidated figure, which is going to be a 24-hour-based figure, which is going to be a consolidated figure. Now, out of the 120 that we've been able to intercept, there is one individual, and these are the individuals that are very problematic. This is one of the individuals that are called the Gomas. So this particular one is a facilitator. So when we intercept and arrest a facilitator, we don't deport them. What we do, we then take them to a police station in Musina. We then open a criminal case. We charge them for aiding and abetting, because these are the individuals who facilitate people even through the river by putting them through the boats and bring them this side, and also facilitate them to enter the country illegally. So for that one, as we speak, he's already in Musina police station, and they've already done the A1 statements from the border guard's point of view, and then the police will be able to process him further. He will have to go through the court system.
Yeah. And this is, of course, a 24-hour port. We are expecting this commotion to continue throughout the day, but the concerns, but the concerns for the BMA as the sun sets in terms of processing people, but especially the operations that we've seen happening throughout the day.
Yeah, you see, firstly, as you can see, the border guards there that I've just come on, this is the night shift team that is just actually starting now around 6. And on that particular basis, we are then going to have this team ready. They will be joining the members of the SANDF on the vulnerable segments on the borderline, and they're going to then start the patrols to make sure that they actually start dealing with those individuals who will try to come through illegally overnight. And this team, as you can see them, these are the conventional border guards. They're not the junior border guards, but they're the conventional border guards, well armed, so that they can be able to deal with the situation during the night, because during the night it's not like during the day. During the night we have people that are very much arrogant and very much armed in some instances, and therefore they should be able to be ready to deal with those situations. So we are going to do that overnight, as we always do, and the numbers that we would have intercepted overnight, we will talk about them tomorrow as part of the 24-hour report that we are going to give to yourselves in the morning.
Yeah. And I think obviously just as we are seeing the numbers starting to swell, this is the first peak of the weekend. What are we expecting come Sunday as well as Monday? We know from the customs point in terms of SARS, they're anticipating, of course, when companies start to open and those trucks as well as those large numbers of vehicles and cargo coming through.
Yeah, you see, in terms of the peak, as we have anticipated, was that today is going to be the first peak as a Saturday, and tomorrow is going to be the real peak. And that is why our team that is going to come through in the morning, they are very much ready to be able to deal with the peak that is going to come from the Zimbabwean side into the South African side. And there we are expecting high numbers, primarily because some of the people will want to be going to work on Monday, and on that particular basis there will be a lot of people that will be coming through. So as I said, today it was around 17,000 that we processed in. Overall it was 20. So tomorrow we are expecting us to start moving towards your 25,000, towards 26,000. By the way, the highest that we have ever processed in a day is around 28,000. So that record has not been broken yet, and that was actually done here at Beitbridge. So tomorrow we are expecting it to move towards 26,000 or so, and we should be able to give that report. So from Monday into the week, we will subside a bit, and then it will pick up again into the coming Saturday, into Sunday, and the next week Sunday is going to be the last peak, and then we will then start wrapping down the operations.
And just a final one, Commissioner, we know that Beitbridge is the busiest port, but there is a lot of movement happening across the country. Any way that you can tell us so what it's looking like across the country for some of the other ports, especially those that have been problematic and busy as well, considerably as well, Lesotho perhaps?
Yeah, maybe let me start with Maseru Bridge as well as Ficksburg. You will remember Ficksburg actually is the biggest facilitator in terms of people coming in and out of Lesotho, followed by Maseru Bridge. Maseru Bridge also had a lot of trucks, as it were, but in terms of people movement, it is Ficksburg. So as we speak now, I've been interacting with the colleagues. Everything is going well according to plan. Numbers are actually coming back into the country, and they're being facilitated accordingly. Lebombo, again, a problematic port based on the protest. The good thing is the protest has been postponed. So on that particular basis, there is calm in the environment, and we are busy processing them people coming back into the country, and that process also continues even in terms of the trucks. So even the trucks are moving very well. There's no any interruption, although the numbers are very much low. In terms of OR Tambo, I think you would have heard the other day there was power failure, but our backup systems through AXA were reactivated, and we're able to continue processing without much interruption. As we speak now, everything is going well according to our plan across the various ports, as it were.
Thank you so much for that update, a holistic view really of what we're anticipating on the return leg in terms of the end of the festive season, where we're seeing hundreds and thousands of people returning back here in South Africa. As I said as well, Katlego, that the sun is setting, but the lines are still here. The BMA was able, of course, to divert some of the traffic that we saw earlier throughout the day, but the motion, the numbers, the swelling is definitely expected overnight. But the work has been done here, especially in regards to intercepting those who were looking to take advantage of these high volumes and perhaps to inundate officials. But they have been on the ground, managing to intercept about 120. You heard there as well that the biggest arrest has been facilitators. That is who really the Border Management Authority are hoping to clamp down on, because those are the ones that continuously help people get across the border illegally, saying that if they can stem those people out, those facilitators, they will able to get a handle, if you would, on this situation and the crisis of illegal border crossing.
All right, Veronica Makhoali out at the Beitbridge border post in Limpopo, bringing us that latest update.